Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. The three big main Italian football pages, they have three ways of explaining what happened yesterday in a horrible day for you, for me, for all the people of Juventus. Gazzetta dello Sport is opening with Juve stangata, -15, Juventus a big hit, -15. They focus on ex-president Andrea Agnelli and sporting director of Juventus Fabio Paratici, focusing and blaming the management. Corriere dello Sport is going to what hurts the most to us tifosi, the players on the ground. Juventus that hurts, in pain. Yes, because actually this is what hurts the most, us Juventini, us supporters. Asfaltata, Juventus destroyed. And then you have Tutto Sport that is going with another narrative. Roba da matti, crazy things. Because yes, yesterday crazy thing happened. But then you can also read on that pages, ingiustizia è fatta. Instead of the common justice has been done, injustice has been done. I want to start with the words of Sandro Scarpa, that is a Juventus supporter just like you, just like me, because we are all the people of Juventus. He wrote actually the crazy incoherence of what happened yesterday in court. And then I want to go in that video to the facts of how Juventus was deducted 15 points after the rumors of a 9 points requested. Sandro Scarpa starts writing that Italian sport justice, in a few time, they judged the same things in different ways. They judge in different ways the same facts done by literally more clubs regarding player exchanges. The Italian football justice, they judged in different ways the same facts in which they told us there was no rule and never there would be a rule. Never a rule could have been applied. The Italian sport justice, they judged in different ways the same facts done by Chievo Verona, doing profit with tens of amateurial players to register themselves to the league, and Juventus doing it with Serie A professional players representing only 3% of the total revenues. Italian football justice, they judge in different ways the same facts done by Milan, Inter, Roma, Napoli, and a lot more teams in Italy and around the world since decades, only because they have evidences that it influenced the books, while the other ones, well, apparently they were doing it for charity. It is not sport justice that we are speaking about, my friends. It is a direct political attack towards the engine of Italian football and his million of supporters. Yes, I use the words engine of football, of Italian football. Why? Because there are tons of examples. I will just go with a few of them. Juventus Football Club created their own stadium, the first one. A jewel of a stadium in the middle of Italy, while we are assisting to stadiums like Cremonese that are falling apart, like the Maradona Stadium that changed only the name, but it is a real disaster for the image of Italian football. In an Italian country that the last time that they did something for football, it was in 1990 with the money received to organize the World Cup. Since then, nothing has been done by Italy to give a beautiful image like the Premier League or Bundesliga were able to do. Agnelli, he was the only one that was fighting and actually succeeding in giving Italy a fourth spot in UEFA Champions League. Without that fourth spot, probably the beautiful fable of Atalanta, the dream, the Leicester of Italy would never have existed, because never they would have the introit, the revenues of that Champions League, because they couldn't qualify for it. Juventus was the only club, and you can now later say that it was a mistake, but it was the only club being able to bring a world star, Cristiano Ronaldo, to Serie A. And while he was in Serie A, all Serie A was benefiting from it. Serie A was eating from the cake that Juventus actually made bigger for everyone to eat from. All the tickets were higher. Go back in history, see how much the clubs were actually using Juventus and Cristiano Ronaldo to inflate their prices and actually making a lot more money. Television rights went up in Serie A. Attraction towards Serie A for what Juventus did, bringing at the time the best player of the world. You can argue Messi or Ronaldo, but they were able to bring one of the two best players of the world. Juventus created a women team Not only they created it, but they were able to win with that women team, and they put Juventus on the map, also on an international stage, competing really far in that Europa League, in the Champions League for women. They also fought and they won that the women now are recognized as professional football players, where in the past they were only amateurs, not recognized by Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio. Massive investment in our youth sector. Juventus is the first, but still until today, the only team that created a second team, and we are starting to see how much it benefits the club. The Continassa area, beautiful, fantastic. There are a million other things that I can tell you, but they tried to destroy us in 2006, and partially they succeeded for a few years, but Juventus came back stronger, much stronger than they have ever been, being able to build and to do everything that I just told you, but also and especially winning on the field. 9 times in a row. It was not enough for us because they tried to stop that dominance on the field with a lot of strange things. We saw all the referee strange decision, go to the VAR plus and minus, go to the strange penalties ranking of Serie A, go to all these strange things that you are able to see, but you can't put a word on it. Think about the Inter games of last year, Supercoppa, Serie A, Coppa Italia. They try to destroy us on the media, something that they are doing since years, and actually they succeeded to influence the mass, because you will be attacked by a lot of anti-Juve people on internet, on social media, much more than in 2006, where only your anti-Juve friends and family could attack you. Now everyone, the world can attack you because they are just going with the big titles. And they don't go into detail. They don't know. They don't care. They don't want to know about it. Sport media in Italy, they influenced their brain. They brainwashed them. After the Super League project to actually save the leagues that are going more and more down, that are being destroyed without people reacting, well, they are trying to erase us from planet Earth, from planet football, from the football world. We have a few other investigations. Minus 15 points has been deducted to Juventus, but it's not over because we will still have the salary Prisma investigation and then the UEFA investigation. So it is not over at the moment. What happened yesterday, in a few words, so that you can understand the disgusting thing that happened yesterday? Well, there was already a closed case, closed investigation that Juventus and other 9 teams, included Napoli, were judged not guilty. I underline not guilty. They reopened it because apparently there were new evidences, and that's really important to understand. Apparently there were new evidences to try to reopen it. We went from minus 9 requested in the beginning at 1 p.m. Italian time to minus 15. The thing is, you can't reopen legally a case where you have been judged 2 times legally not guilty without any new evidences presented. At 1 p.m. Italian time yesterday, we start with a request from the accusation of minus 9. At 1:55 p.m., 5 minutes before 2 p.m., is the first time that defense has the ability to speak and to defend themselves. 3 p.m. Italian time, 1 hour later, there are no new evidences. But apparently the accusation, Giuseppe Chiné, is going with attacking Juventus about sport loyalty, sport fair play that is not respected by Juventus. Just reading you, paraphrasing you what has been said. Well, the federal prosecutor Giuseppe Chiné brought up Article 4 from the law, simplifying everything in disloyalty, which was also the core of the verdict. No longer were the various deals, the registers numbers in the budget or anything else considered. This is actually why the other ones were not judged and only Juventus, because at 5 p.m. the request of Giuseppe Chiné is going towards that direction. The minus 9 points that were requested initially 4 hours before were not enough anymore. It was not enough in terms of ranking and the impact to destroy Juventus. The accusation, Giuseppe Chiné spoke 44 minutes in total. 42 of them, he spoke only about Juventus. I told you before, it has been a targeted political decision to target Juventus and Juventus only. 20 minutes before 7 p.m., the accusation changed opinion and they asked for an impactful punishment for Juventus because they said that they alternated the book and they were disloyal. Just to give you an important thing that you have to keep in mind, in the years that were studied, Juventus did profits with changing players, with selling and buying players for only 60 million euro. They represent 3.6% of the total revenues. A team that in the same studied years did a capital increase 2 times for a total of 700 million. Tell me 3.6% of your revenue are significant to alternate the books, are meant to register yourself in Serie A or in an Italian league like Chievo Verona did. At 9 p.m., the court goes with, we reopen the case. None of the other teams will have points deduction. None of the other teams will have to pay a penalty. Ciao, thank you, and see you again. Or never see you again. While Juventus, 5 of their people were accused and they have an inhibition to work in football world, in Serie A, Federazione Italiana Gioco al Calcio, and probably extended to UEFA and FIFA. For a lot of them, 2 years, 18 months, 6 months, but more important, 15 points. From 9 to 15 points were deduced to Juventus. In the evening, Juventus goes with an official communiqué, press release, saying that Juventus is totally disgusted and they think it's absolutely not fair how we were judged. We were asking 2 days ago with President Ferrero to have equal respect, equal treatment, and it is obvious that we didn't receive it if we see the punishment that was only given to Juventus. Juventus goes, as from now, immediately into appeal to the Sport Guarantee Board. People will tell me, Beppe, can we change these 15 points? No. 15 points will remain, or they will be totally cancelled, or they will remain. They can't be increased, they can't be deduced. Or they remain, or they will be cancelled. Attenzione, because there will be other investigations, February, March, and also the European one, where new charges can be put on Juventus. Juventus can be hit even more harder than it is. This is it for what happened yesterday. Some people ask me, Beppe, we want an advice. I am nobody to give you an advice. I am a supporter since a kid, since yesterday, even more supporting the team. We have enough enemies, and this is the only tip that I can give, and you are not obliged to follow it. But we have enough enemies around the world. Let's put aside our differences. Pro Allegri against Allegri, pro Agnelli against Agnelli, pro beautiful football, pro 1-0 Cortomuso win, pro McKennie against Akenny. Put these different opinions aside. For the common good of Juventus, let's stick together. This should be the moment where we show that we are Juventus. Noi siamo la gente della Juventus. We are the people of Juventus. Let's show it. Let's stand all together. Today, even more than yesterday, and a bit less than tomorrow, grazie and forza Juve.